Shalom, giving all praise to you. How about Shemal Shahaba Shumakakwada? Shalom to the hopeful elect out there. And I'm going to entitle this video, The Prophets Saw It Coming. And what I'm talking about is, this is from a video. Give me a second here. Let me bring it up. So this is a video, Maxwell the Glass Hour. I remember seeing it years ago. We never saw it coming. I might have did a video on it. But let me do this. Habakkuk 2 is definitely taking place as I speak. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so this is the video right here. Which they took his video down. This is put up by GMS South Carolina 08, which is the elder Monatazak Ba. The video is We Never Saw It Coming, Nuclear Destruction, Prophecy. Maxwell, we never saw it coming. Glass House, that was the name of the video, ICBM. So they, as you can see, because I remember I clicked on it maybe a day or two ago and it didn't come up and they said copyright and violation, blah, blah, blah. Never saw it coming, video copyright details. Content identified in this video is listed below. So it's blocked. So what I did was I clicked on this video right here. It's Maxwell's actual music video. Like I said, I remember seeing it when it first came out on YouTube. So this is like a somber moment when you watch right about, let me see. They're at the table, they're living good. And you got the woman, she has a English, British accent. They were talking about we should have loved harder, we should have did this, we should have been more in love and all this. Got a baby, looked like a boy, and she got a bun in the oven. Gonna have a baby, and they're gonna die with, the little boy's gonna die, the pregnant woman is gonna die with the baby, and the man's gonna die. So this is what I noticed in the video. It says broadcast system, emergency broadcast system. And I guess every once in a while you'll see that emergency broadcast system. We would instruct you as to what you should do. Well, they're showing you in the video that they probably said, well, look, there's nothing we can do. You're going to die. The Russians shot their first strike, ICBM. What is it? Hypersonic missiles. And all I can say is, God be with you. And then this, no channels, no cable, no HBO, no ESPN, no Showtime, no nothing. But there's a smart TV, you can't get YouTube or nothing like that. So you're not going to get any news. You may get news on a AM radio station. And we experienced blackouts before and everything goes out and the radio normally works. You can get like AM stations. When the World Trade Center happened, 9/11 happened, I was at the job and my supervisor was in there. So one of the supervisors had a small TV. This is before the flat screen TVs came out. And when they came out, they were real expensive. So you had like a small, I guess a little 10-inch or whatever, 12-inch, little small box TV. And he said, come in here. And I was getting my stuff together to go. And everything, the TV, he couldn't get no stations, but he got Channel 2 because Channel 2 was working out of a different, the signal was going to a different building. I believe most of the signals went through the World Trade Center because he had the tower, the antenna and all that. So he's going through the channels and Channel 2 and they talking about what happened, and you see breaking news, and it changed the whole world, changed the whole world. There was the first building was on fire. And by the way, mind you, I've been in both of those buildings. I've been in building 1 and building 2. And I hated to go there. I hated to do deliveries over there because in '93 there was a blast. So after that, I don't like going over there. I quick to drop my shit off and go. I remember I never went into building 7, but I passed building 7, which I believe was 7 stories. It was a smaller building. So I remember that. I remember that place, the 2 towers, very well. I've been inside, like I said, both of them. So anyway, the breaking news, it was on Channel 2, the only station you can get. And they showed the one of the towers was on fire. And then we didn't know what it was. And then as we're watching, you actually see another plane hit the other tower as we're watching. So I seen the second plane hit. And so I did my job. There was a point where I did deliveries back then, and there was a point where it was around 11 o'clock, 11:30 that they closed because I dealt with a lot of offices, commercial office buildings. And there was a point where I went to one building and they closed it down. They sent everybody home. They said the building's closed. I went to the next stop. Everything was closed. So there was some type of alert that everything was to be closed down. But there was certain places open. There was a bar. I delivered there. There was, and a number of people, everybody in the offices all around that area went to that particular bar and other neighboring bars. And they had the flat screen, a couple of flat screens up there, and the bar was packed. And everybody was drinking. They give strong drink to them. They're about to Paris and be of heavy heart. So they went to drink. So there's people talking, and I've dropped the thing off, and I said a few words to the people, and I said, "Oh, this is a damn shame." And I'm laughing on the inside. And I remember they stopped all commercial flights. So I believe there was 3 Edomite women, and one of them had a baby. I guess it was a grandchild, if I'm not mistaken. And it was in front of, I believe, was a library or some building. And there was nothing in the sky, no commercial, nothing. And I remember seeing, I believe it was 2 fighter jets go by. And you never see and the sound is different from a commercial jet. So the Edomite, they're looking up, oh, look at that. These are military jets. I forget what the hell I said. So I said, well, this shit is serious, man. This is serious. And also I remember, and that changed the whole world. That changed the whole world, the whole planet. That shook the whole planet stopped. That was breaking news all over the planet. Other places that were able to get channels, news channels, and that were not affected by the blast. It was breaking news all over the place. And there had to be thousands of, this was before YouTube, and really the web wasn't, it was just coming into play, so to speak. This is way before YouTube. We're talking, but 4 years, almost 5 years. But anyway, I don't know how many different channels you had out there, but let's say there's 1,000 channels all around the world back in 2021, 9/11. If there was 1,000, there's got to be 100,000. man, there's news channels. I had this one channel off of this box where it's all news, and there were like over 1,000 channels all around the world, and most of them had like the English version of that. Like Al Jazeera is based out of Iraq, if I'm not mistaken, and I believe Press TV is based out of Iran, if I'm not mistaken. Then you have RT, Russia Today, which they're no longer on YouTube after the war that started not this February, but last February. Um, so when the destruction comes, and it's going to come, and it's going to come by way of nuclear annihilation on Babylon the Great Ur, and that's what all the prophets saw, but in different visions. They saw it in different ways. So we're in that time, but this thing is not going to happen until the the majority of the world gets a Karagma microchip. We were right. GMS was right. We are the premier group of all the groups out there because we're number one is we're teaching about the MOTB. Those other major groups, Sakari's teaching it, and maybe another group might be teaching it. Men of Valor teach it because they're part of they're GMS in the spirit. We're cool with them, so they teach the same thing that we teach. But you know, you got other major groups, ISUPK, IUIC, I believe HODC. They do believe it. They don't push it though, like we push it. We're the premier group that pushes the you know the C-hip, the Karagma, and it's always you know IUIC, the leader of IUIC, that always does a counter on it, and like he did recently. Forgive me for man, you know, and we know the scriptures. And I am going to go into the scriptures. He says he's got a one up over us because you got a lot of those people that are questioning whether we're correct. So they were asking. I imagine them asking General Netanyahu. That's why he had to come on the horse because people are kind of doubting him. They kind of window shopping over here at GMS. So the more information comes out concerning the Karagma, the C-hip, the more they're going to ask questions because we're doing a video on it. So he had the one up on us with the Revelation 17:4 about the woman, which is America, with the golden cup and fornication. He said in her hand and in her forehead. See, that's it. And he, whoa, we body bag. You didn't body bag nobody. He didn't body bag us. He was just being slick. He pulled a fast one on you. Revelation 17:4 has absolutely nothing to do with Revelation 13, 16, 17. Absolutely nothing to do with it. It's two different things. It's two different things. But this will have to happen. Revelation 13, 16, and 17 will have to take place before the destruction comes. So you different Israelite groups teaching, well, this could be it. We could be out of here, man. I think it's going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. The mass chipping got to take place. The CBDC, which is in the work. The Fed now, the digital dollar, the world digital dollar. You got a thing called the Orb. Look that up. Go to YouTube and put in Orb, ORB, which links with the the MOTB. First thing they're going to do is they're going to eventually get rid of the paper dollar, the credit cards, and everything's going to be linked up into your smartphone. Then from your smartphone, it's going to go into your body, and they're going to present it in a way where people are going to want to take it, and we're not going to take it because we know what it's all about. That's why we're seers. When you look up the word seer in the ancient back And at one time, the prophets were called seers. And what is a seer? The word there is ra'ah, which means to see. What it means to see? To see in the future. A seer is somebody that sees in the future. Prophet just means to say before. Why do they say before? They say it's going to happen before it happens because they see it in the form of visions. So, you know, we never saw it coming. Yeah, because you didn't watch the GMS videos. You didn't know that you were Israelite. We never saw it coming, but guess what? The prophets did, and we are the prophets. That preacher that said the prophet, there's no more prophets and there's no more apostles. Well, guess what? There are prophets and there are apostles. We are those apostles, prophets, teachers, and so forth. And you're not, because not one of you churches, no black churches, not one of you is talking about nuclear destruction. You're not talking about the MOTB. You're not telling the people that they're the Israelites. So the black church is the biggest joke going. The biggest joke going. Anyway, so this is 3 minutes and 40 seconds in of this video, Maxwell, the glass house. We never saw it coming. Official video. Then I'm gonna jump to 520. So I wanted to show you this. They're gonna say a few words, and they're gonna say pretty much that's your ass, kiss your ass goodbye, because there's nothing we can do about it. So let's come to 420, I believe. Yeah, Esau, the government is scared to death of the UFO slash UAPs, and they know that they're the angels. Okay, where am I? Right here. Okay. They're looking out the window, and bring this back. You know, got the baby. She's got a bun in the oven. And so the next scene. I want to get to the mushroom cloud. I'm gonna give you a couple of precepts. There it is. So there's 5 steps to death. I forget what they are. Denial is one of them. Anger, depression, whatever. There's 5 of them. I may look it up after the 5 steps. Matter of fact, give me a second. Let me do this. Okay, so I put in the 5 steps before death. It says, what are the 5 stages of the dying process? The stages of dying include denial. No, it's not going to happen. Anger. Oh my God, God, how can you do this to us? Bargaining. I'll do the right thing. I'll get close to, I'll do the right thing for people if you allow me to live. God. Depression and acceptance. So there, and it says not necessarily in any particular order. So they're not in the order. They know it's coming by the song, right? They're in the stages of, they can't bargain, right? So they're in the stages of the last 2, which is depression. They don't look like they're happy. They look depressed. and acceptance. The bomb went off. It's a matter of minutes or seconds before they're done. Good video, good music video, good acting. You know, we never saw it coming because you didn't look, you didn't listen to the prophets. So you see the mushroom cloud right there, right? So I'm gonna give you a couple of precepts. We all know these precepts very well. The churches don't know it. Let me go to Isaiah. Isaiah comes to mind. Joel 2 is another one. Isaiah, what I was going to go to? Isaiah 34. I'll go right to the point. Oh, you know what? Let me do this. Come near. I don't even got to go. Let me just go into this. Let's see how far I can go into this. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come from forth of it. For the indignation, which means justifiable anger, of Yahweh is upon all nations. Because there's going to be a major change. When the missiles come and take this place out, and the lasers from the ship come and take Babylon the Great out, the Hur out, we're going to put the whole planet in order, and they're going to learn the laws, statutes, and commandments. And his fury upon all their armies, he have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the what? To the slaughter. So what is Isaiah seeing here? He's seeing the destruction. He's seeing, do this. Where the hell is it? Where the hell is it? He's seeing what they're seeing. But they're seeing it in living color. That's the mushroom cloud right there. But the prophet Isaiah saw it before. This is over 1,000 years, 2,000 years ago. We're talking, well over 2,000 years ago. So Isaiah, as well as the other, and I can bring all kind of precepts that's coming to my head right now. If I bring out all these scriptures that come, precepts that's coming to my head right now on this particular subject, I'll be here for 2 hours. So let me read that again. For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up. Joel 2, and come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and that's talking about the sky, the firmament, under the firmament. And the heaven shall be rolled together as a scroll, which today they call it the mushroom cloud. And the heaven shall be rolled together as a scroll. This is why you have these Christians that if they find out where an Israelite, major Israelite group is speaking, they're going to go down there to put in a claim that I could be saved too, because the Lord came for the Gentiles through the Apostle Paul. And then you got to explain to them that those Gentiles are Israelites. It says this, third verse again, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Now, there's not going to be any carcasses in America because it's going to be totally on fire. When the smoke is clear, it's going to be dust. It's just going to be a desert. Everything's going to be broken down to its lowest common denominator, as the Apostle Peter said in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. You keep on following Sarnetta and the Black Conscious Communion, the Moors and the Baptists and the Methodists and this religion and that religion and the 5%ers and you guess what? You're all gonna die. You're all a bunch of F-ups and you're all gonna die. That's from the movie The Boys and Company C, which came out in, I believe it was 76, 77, which is a great movie, classic movie. It says the third verse. I read the third verse. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, mushroom cloud, and all their hosts shall fall down or die, be destroyed, as a leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig tree as a falling fig from the fig tree. So what is he seeing? He's seeing these missiles, thousands upon thousands of missiles, 200,000 to be exact. Revelation 9, I believe that's around the 15th verse or so. You got certain groups that say it's talking about angels. When you go to Revelation 9, when it talks about they had heads like lion and with them they do hurt, that's talking about missiles. John, the apostles describing missiles. And then in Revelation 6, he says the same. He says what Isaiah said, they shall fall like a untimely fig from a fig tree. So the figs are what? He's looking at missiles and they're looking like figs. A mighty wind comes along on a fig tree and it blows the figs, most of the figs off of the tree before it's fully ripe. And it blows according to the wind. So it's going to go from either east to west or north to south, wherever you're standing. It's going to go from one side to the next side, right? So that's what he saw. He said they look like figs falling from a tree, which he saw the ICBM missiles. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. When you look up the word Idumea, the word there, and by the way, that's a Greek word. Why didn't they just put it in Hebrew and write the word Edom? Matter of fact, let me do this. And this is getting ready to happen. So when you come up with the argument that the Edomites are done away with, then you're saying that this already, the Isaiah 34 already took place. If you say Isaiah 34 is a future prophecy, then guess what? The Edomites are still here. And they're so-called, they look like white people. See, it says Adam, which is wrong, but this is the right way. Adawam. Adawam. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. I'll put up Adawam. Okay. Right, Genesis 25 and 30. And you got the word Adawam. Adawam. Not Adam. It is again Adawam. And they'll say that's the name of Adam. Let me try this here. And you can't get deep. You can't be a deep guy in the scriptures if you don't go into the Greek and in the Hebrew. If you don't go into maps, if you don't link up the filter the history. I mean, filter history through the scriptures. I'm sorry. Let me see. Okay, let me do it this way. Genesis 25, verses 30. And Esau said to Jacob, Yaquab, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Red. He said, feed me with the pottage. Therefore his name was called Red. Like you got Red Fox, Malcolm, what was this guy? Red Fox and Detroit Red, which was Malcolm X, and they were running. They were running together. They were partners in crime at one time, so they knew each other. So let me hit this right here. H123. Adam is wrong. It's completely wrong. Now we know it's talking about Edom, right? And it says Adawam. This is wrong. Blue letter goes off too. See, it says Adam, but it doesn't say. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Let me do this. See, right here they're saying Adam, or it says Adam, but the actual word there, I showed you it, is Adawam, which are two different words. Let me do this. Let me go to H. Let me go to H21. Let's see what 21 says. H121. See, it says Adam, red, first man. Let's go to, let's see what 120 says. They're clearly going off. See there, it says man. Let me do this here. Let me come on back. Okay, therefore was his name called Edom, right? See, it tells you right there, that's the actual word there, but then they're saying it's Adam. It's showing you right there that they're going off. The word that should be there is Adawam. Edom is not Adam. Edom is Adawam. Anyway, let's get back into this. Please forgive me. You guys can't tell me you're a man of the Lord and a deep guy in the scriptures if you don't understand the Hebrew and the Greek. Go to the King James, the red Bible that we have. It tells you in the first couple of pages, it says the King James translated the book from the Hebrew and the Greek. So you got a guy talking about he's a Hebrew Israelite, but he doesn't go into the Hebrew or the Greek. He's really not a prophet. He's really not a scholar. And a scholar just means, you can be in the first grade and go to school. You're a scholar because you're being taught out of books. It says, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved. That's from the missiles. And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That's the mushroom cloud. And all their hosts shall fall down as a leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree. That's the missiles going from one continent to another continent in an arcing fashion. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, it shall come down upon the Idumea. So we know that Idumea is a Greek word for saying Edom or Adawam, which is the man Esau. And upon the people of my curse for judgment. So they're cursed people. They're cursed people. Mosai never turned his anger against Esau. He was always angry with Esau. So not one Edomite can make it. I don't give a damn what they do. That's why we know Cornelius is not an Edomite. This is what the seven used to teach. They totally went off. Cornelius, it was an Israelite that came out of that mess during the time of the Maccabees, during the time of Antiochus Epiphanes. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made of fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats. The lambs and goats signify, bullocks and so forth, signify sacrifice. So the lambs and the goats are really talking about people, because the Most High is going to sacrifice them. Remember, America, and I want the first ones that said this, America is nothing but an altar. Read that in Isaiah chapter 19. 5 cities shall speak the language of Canaan. This is an altar. So if they tell you, oh, if you don't like America, just get up and leave, to you Israelites, you got to tell them, no, we got to be here because America is a large altar, and we're here to condemn this place, and then the Most High is going to lift us up, and then he's going to sacrifice this place. A sacrifice by fire. So in sacrificing by fire, you need subjects to burn. You need lambs, goats, bullocks, rams, which are these Edomites. And then you're going to have other nations in this land too. This is called the great melting pot. Why? Because all these nations came to this land to be condemned by the Most High. Because he's not just going to get Esau. He's going to get Esau. He's going to get all those other nations. Not all of them, but the ones that are here. And he's going to get our people, Israelites. The 2/3 of Israel is not talking about 2/3 of all Israel on the planet. The 2/3 of Israel that are here in America, they represent the 2/3. With the fat of the kidneys of rams, those are people. That's what it's talking about. It's parable talk for people. For Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Bozrah. Bozrah is on the other side of the world of America. So this is the new Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. America is really called the land of Idumea. He's not going to slaughter nobody in Petra, in Bozrah, in the land of Edom, and Mount Seir. He's not going to. Ain't nobody know about that place. The new land of Edom is right here in America. And the unicorns mean one horn, shall come down with them. Unicorns are not uh, rhinoceros and hippopotamus and all that. Like Nate, the general Nathaniel, like I said, a unicorn is a what do you say, it was a rhinoceros. There ain't no rhinoceros. A rhinoceros is an unclean animal. It's talking about, matter of fact, let me go to it. Let me see what it says. So now I'm getting into a breakdown. Unicorns. Ra'am, probably the great Orosh or wild bulls, which are now extinct. The exact meaning is not known. Okay, this right here, unicorn, is talking about the feed horn. It's talking about these satellites in the sky. This unicorn is not an actual unicorn. It's talking about how this signal goes around the world. So 1 billion people can watch my video if they go on my channel. Right. Will a unicorn be willing to serve thee and abide by thy crib? Exactly, because I'm in my crib right now. And if 1 billion people watch me, 1 billion people gonna get this lesson. Unicorn, as I said, the word there is Ra'am. You got the root H7213. Ra'am. Yeah, because a Ra'am means lifted up. As you see, it says lifted up. Abraham was known as it means Abraham means father lifted up or exalted father. A ram that you see in the mountains, it's a Hebrew word. A ram, like a Dodge Ram, the word ram is a Hebrew word. It means exalted or lifted up or high, because they're high on the mountains. So ram is a Hebrew word. It's the correct way to pronounce it is Ra'am or Abba Ra'am. Abba Ram. Abba Ra'am. When his name was changed to Abba Raham, which is the father of a multitude of many. So let's come on back. There's lessons within lessons. So my question to any scholar out there, did Isaiah 34 take place already? And the unicorns, which are rams, which are likened unto goats and animals that you sacrifice, shall come down with them, and the bullocks and the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and I got to read this in the NLT, and their dust made fat with fatness, for it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, which is the time of Jacob's trouble, and the year of recompense to get back for the controversy of Zion. Now, General Nathaniel Bishop Nathaniel, whatever he wants to call himself today. He said, he said, what would it, how do you say it? Conspiracy theories are generally that of nuts. Well, controversy goes hand in hand, is synonymous with the word conspiracy, you know? You know, when we say that we're the people and the small hats jump up and say that you guys are anti-Semitic for calling us that, that's a controversy, which is a conspiracy, because they know that the top lawyers of these different groups, ADL and Southern Poverty Law Center, they have their top lawyers. They work with government. They go on CNN and all that. They can call CNN, look, I want to go on your show. So they know, they have scholars, so they know that they're not the people. They know that they're the Edomites. So the fact that they're saying that they're the people means that that's a controversy right there. That's a conspiracy right there, because they know the truth. Ninth verse, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. The elements shall melt with fervent heat. Everything is going to go down to its lowest common denominator, and this is going to be the biggest desert on the planet Earth, and it's also going to be known as the forbidden zone. It shall not be quenched night nor day. Now our Lord, Yahushua HaMashiach, made a statement. He said, "Where the worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched." You got Christians that say it's talking about hell. No, it's talking about America. What does it mean? And the fire will not be quenched. There's not a fire truck big enough to put out the fire in America, because the 5,000 square miles, about 2,000 from the north to the south, and 3,000 from the east to the west. What fire truck is big enough to put out that fire? It said the fire shall not be quenched. And the worm, and the place where the worm dieth not, is everybody that's in that fire is going to die. There's not going to be any survivors. It said it shall not be quenched day, night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. Oh, by the way, I was speaking about the World Trade Center. It was 2 weeks later that we drove right down there. We drove right by there. I believe it was on Broadway, if I'm not mistaken. There's an old church, which is also a cemetery. It's an old church around the Wall Street district. And we saw to the right of us, we saw the buildings. You saw the building, the metal was bent. And we saw it in living color. And we saw a lot of people, they were going down there, they were praying for the souls of the people that died. And we used to go down there and eat at certain restaurants. We didn't eat there for about a good 6 months to a year, because of the particulate matter in the air. A lot of people got sick from that. People are still dying from the causes and effect of the World Trade Center going down. It shall not be quenched night nor day until the smoke clears. The smoke thereof, they're going to get all that smoke too, shall go up forever and ever, meaning for a long time, because the smoke is going to dissipate. And then what's going to be left is a vast desert. From generation to generation, it shall lie waste. Right, it's going to be the biggest wasteland on the planet Earth, the biggest desert on the planet Earth. None shall pass through it forever and ever, because it's going to be the forbidden zone. We'll go over it, but the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, and the owl also, and the raven shall dwell in it. These are desert type creatures that can live in the desert, because they'll go there, then they'll go someplace else. You know, they'll pass by it. And he shall, and that's what Revelation 18:1 is all about. And he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness, meaning you had borders. you can go from New York to Connecticut, or you can go from New York to New Jersey. If you want to go from New York to Delaware, you have to go through New Jersey. If you want to go to Florida, you have to go through New Jersey, Pennsylvania. You got to go through all those states, Virginia, North Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Georgia. So you'll see a sign, "Welcome to Georgia." You know, so when the smoke is cleared, there's not going to be any boundaries. You ain't gonna know where Jersey is and New York is, and because it's just going to be sand. It says, out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. They shall call the nobles thereof to the. Well, what does that mean, brother? You said there ain't nobody going to inhabit it. What is these kingdoms and these nobles talking about? This is called poetic. This is poetic. This is being written in a poetic manner, meaning if there was kings and nobles and people that came to this place, there'll be nothing to go to. You can't go to the house. You can't go to the bathroom. You got to eat something. It says, just listen to the prophets, man. Stop asking these dumb questions. And I'm not answering your dumb, stupid questions no more. You better make sure they're, a wise question. But none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing. So there's nothing that's going to be. If a man, look, there was a song called "I've Been Through the Desert on a Horse with No Name." I believe, I don't know what the singer's interpretation of the song is, but I believe that's code for America after the missiles drop. It said, all thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles, because you got plants that grow in the desert. And the fortresses thereof, there's not gonna be no fortress, and where fortresses were like military bases, and it shall be an habitation of dragons, meaning like lizards, Komodo dragons, and a court for owls. And the owls, a bunch of owls are called a parliament. In England, Great Britain, you have a parliament. What is a parliament? When the wisest of the people come together and think upon the matter, when they deal with laws. But what is it really? An owl. They're calling themselves owls. A parliament, look the word up. Look the word up. It should say a parliament is a flock of owls. And why is an owl known as being wise? Because they can see things in the dark. It says, 14 verse, the wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, because they're going to have like certain type of birds that's going to fly over America and see what they can eat. And then they're going to say, there ain't nothing here. Then they're going to go to the nearest island. It says, and the sad tree shall cry to a fellow, the screech owl also shall rest there and find for her a place of rest, because different birds migrate to different places. So they're going to be flying over the U.S. There shall the great owl make her nest and lay and hatch and have under her a shadow. There shall the vultures, which is a desert vulture, which is a scavenger, also be gathered, everyone with her mate. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read. None of these shall fail. What does it mean? The prophecy that Isaiah saw, he's saying, go. This is the holy book. He said, read this. He said, this is going to happen. No one of these shall fail. Meaning this thing that I saw, the mushroom cloud, or the heavens rolling together as a scroll, the sacrifice, the fire, and all that. He said, this thing is going to happen. It says, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it has commanded, and his spirit it has gathered them. Gathered what? All these prophecies. And then Jeremiah got different prophecies, which is the same prophecy, but in a different way. And he hath cast the lot of them, and his hand hath divided it unto them by line. They shall possess it forever, from generation to generation shall they dwell therein. So what precept comes in mind? It says, I believe it's Deuteronomy 29:29. It said, they shall possess it forever, from generation to generation. Let's see what Deuteronomy 29:29 says. The secret things belong unto Yahweh, our power, but those things which are revealed belong unto us, the Israelites, starting with the elect, the prophets, to our children, what? Forever, that we may do all the words of this law, or of this book ultimately. So we got to do what the book says. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.